Good afternoon. Welcome to the graduation of Class 2018 here at Norfolk Collegiate School. We are ready to start, and it looks like most people are seated, so we'll begin.
Please stand for the national anthem. You may be seated. Good afternoon, students, family, faculty, and friends. Welcome to the graduation ceremony of Norfolk Collegiate's class of 2018. My name is Chen Zhou, but I also go by Sophie. Time flies. Although it has been 4 years since we've become upper schoolers, it seems like yesterday that I first set foot on Norfolk Collegiate's campus. During these 4 years, we have grown into a class of intelligent, responsible, almost adults. We have learned to be respectful of others' opinions from countless discussions in government class. We have participated in sports, arts, and all kinds of activities that explore our full potential. We have become closer and closer as we built memories together at freshman retreat, sophomore track, the senior boat trip, and finally, prom. As we start to recognize how much we have achieved during our high school years and start to think that we are grown-ups ready to dive into a new world, I feel like there is so much yet to learn. Just last Friday, Mr. Davis had to correct me yet again for using the word times instead of multiply. I still haven't successfully followed one of my 1,479 study plans. I haven't mastered the washing machine, and my room is still a mess. Some of you may assume that I must be smart to be the Salutatorian, though after my taking Mr. Davis' AP Calculus class, he might disagree. But that's just book smart. I believe every one of us is full of knowledge, but in the context of our entire lives, we're all just newbies. Therefore, this 18-year-old will not give any advice, but I will share what has made Norfolk Collegiate special to me and to the class of 2018. Apple COO Tim Cook once said, "For the most important decisions in your life, trust your intuition and then work with everything you have to prove it right." As our parents know, a lot of times teenagers' intuition is not just intuition. It's more like impulsiveness. 4 years ago, a 14-year-old me thought I was acting on good intuition, but I was just a little Chinese girl fresh off the boat. Waving goodbye to my birth parents and the place I grew up to come to the U.S. filled my heart with insecurity. My first day at Norfolk Collegiate, I did what a kindergartner would do. I cried in the bathroom for my mommy, who was sleeping at the other end of the earth. But as I got to know more about Norfolk Collegiate and what it has to offer, I had the courage to bring my intuition to fruition. If life is a card game, I started with some pretty bad cards at Norfolk Collegiate. I had no experience with sports, and I wore shorts the first day of school because I didn't understand the dress code. Everything here was so unfamiliar and different from my previous life experience The more I tried, the more I failed. In fact, despite having been a student government officer in my previous school, I failed in 3 consecutive SGA elections here. But in spite of some pretty bad cards, Norfolk Collegiate helped me play winning hand after another. In this environment, I felt like my faults were always forgiven, a second chance was always presented, trust was always expressed, and solutions, smiles, and hugs always saved the day. Under the protection of the Norfolk Collegiate umbrella, I grew from knowing nothing about sports to being the captain of the cheer and softball teams, participating in a theater program, and joining many clubs. A lot of the cards I thought were bad turned out to be okay, and a lot of the things that I was ignorant about now have become part of my identity. Because at Norfolk Collegiate, it's not about the cards you have, it's about how you play your hand. At Norfolk Collegiate, you play with the understanding that failure inspires success. What matters is having the courage to try. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is stumbling from failure to failure with no lose of enthusiasm." So, to the class of 2018, remember, if you fail, don't lose your enthusiasm to pursue your passions. Think back to what you've learned at Norfolk Collegiate. Cry a bit if you must, and then push on. In addition to expressing my gratitude to the Norfolk Collegiate family, I would also like to express my gratitude to my 2 other families. To my host family, the Thorby Johnsons, thank you for loving it as a daughter, for being at every game and important event, and for being my best friends and mentor. Thank you for every family trip we went on, every ice cream cone you gave me, every IHOP we went to, and for being the hairdresser and driver to my dances. Thank you for lending me your shoulders when I needed to cry, and for being my family, even though we're not blood related. To my birth family, thank you for being tough when I was weak, for answering the phone at 3 a.m. when it was 3 p.m. here, and for saying I'm your most precious gift. Thank you for working so hard to support me and wiping away my tears, even though I know you wanted to cry more. There are 2 important messages I want to share with my classmates. 1, as you go into college and leave your family, don't be stingy in expressing your gratitude and love. Come home and visit when you can, and be responsible so they don't have to worry about you too much. 2nd, as I have learned from softball, if you make 1 mistake in the first inning, remember you still have 6 more innings to go. Right now, we're beginning the bottom of the first inning of a new game. If you made mistakes in that first inning, remember what Norfolk Collegiate has taught you. Keep your head in the game and try again. My host dad once wrote to me, "We all make some bad choices in life, but it's how we learn from them and move forward that really counts." So my dear classmates, go make mistakes and learn from them. Go make a better version of yourself in the future. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. We indeed are here to celebrate the completion of the high school, but our lifelong marathon is just beginning. And I sincerely believe that every one of us will have fantastic futures because we all share the best quality of our community. So as we head to the starting line of our incredible life journey, good luck and go up!
Good afternoon, students, families, and faculty, and thank you for coming to celebrate our graduating class of 2018. We, as a class, could not be more grateful for your unconditional love, support, and guidance over these past years. There aren't really any good YouTube videos for writing a phenomenal graduation speech. Even the one titled, "The Valedictorian Speech That Will Change Your Life," has left my life fairly unchanged. Regardless, I will try to capture our class's academic journey in the best way I know how. So I'll begin with a metaphor based on the myth that with thousands of degrees of heat and extreme pressure for millions of years, a lump of coal can become a magnificent diamond. As we began our transition into 9th grade, we were unshapely pieces of coal. Having just conquered middle school, we thought we had everything all figured out. It was not until we began to tackle high school that we knew we had a long way to go. Eventually, though, over what felt like millions of years, our minds were compressed and heated to near perfection. The pressure to fulfill expectations was the most integral part of our path to maturity. High standards set by teachers, parents, grandparents, and most horrifyingly enough, ourselves, shaped our academic performance. As our high school careers progressed, we were pressured to take on more challenges, which, in turn, applied more pressure and eventually stress to our lives. We asked ourselves myriad questions such as, how many AP classes should I take? Should I double up on English and science? Can I double up on everything? Or should I just take it easy? As senior year approached, these pressures were magnified. We were in the spotlight, expected to do our best in our classes while applying to college. We wondered what our college major should be and what exactly colleges would like to see in us. We worried about how many colleges we could apply to and which ones would most likely accept us. All of a sudden, our fates were in the hands of distant admissions officers who could only piece us together with 500-word essays and standardized test scores. Nonetheless, we survived, relatively unscathed, as we began to see ourselves shaped for the better by these pressures. We wouldn't have been able to make this academic development if not for our teachers. We are grateful for our lower school teachers like Mr. Duvall, Ms. Pigeon, and Ms. Voos, and our middle school teachers like Mr. Booker, Ms. Curtis, Ms. Carr, and Mrs. Fornsell, who once saw potential in those young veins of coal. However, it was not until we finished high school that our transformation was complete. I'd like to thank our English teachers, Ms. Robb, Mrs. King, Mr. Benedict, Ms. Lassiter, and Mrs. Davis for helping us learn to both love and hate writing. Thanks to the science department, Dr. Bain, Mr. Stell, Mrs. Purrington, Mr. Fisher, and Dr. Thompson for exploring the world with us through interesting hands-on activities. And special thanks to Dr. Thompson for teaching our environmental science class about the graduation speech inspiring carbon cycle, even though I'm deliberately getting it completely wrong here. Thank you to our language teachers, Madam Bartel, Senora Poppert, and Mr. White, for allowing us to understand and appreciate cultures outside of our own. Thank you to our social studies teachers, Mr. Solomon, Mr. Moskowitz, Mr. Stefano, and Mr. Gregory, for making us more informed citizens, and especially to Mr. Gregory for candidly, hilariously insulting nearly every figure in U.S. history. And finally, thank you to Ms. Montgomery, Mr. Borowski, Mr. Wafler, and Mr. Davis for showing us that math is, at worst, tolerable, and at best, inspiring. We would also not be here if not for our families. Thank you especially to our parents who are our biggest fans, even if that meant pushing us towards a particular class or activity, which would later determine our major and future. Thank you for leading by example and keeping us on track, and most importantly, for assuring us that we can achieve whatever we set our minds to. To my fellow classmates, I wish you the best in whatever you set out to do. Although at times these 4 years were rocky, pun intended, we have persevered. I can't wait to see where our futures take us, even if that means, switching majors 5 times or giving our parents heart attacks by pursuing liberal studies. Sorry, Mom and Dad. By this fall, we'll all be enrolled at our respective campuses taking on the future, and I know we'll do great. Even though we've been counting the days until our graduation, this goodbye is probably harder than we anticipated. Although, according to my metaphor, we are drastically different from our younger selves, we are not completely changed. The base element of both coal and diamond is carbon, and I believe that we all retain a little piece of the drive, determination, and maybe a maturity that helped us survive our last 13 years. We still retain, at our core, the carbon that let us become who we are, and now that we're sparkly, shining diamonds, we're ready for college. No diamond is flawless, though. We all have our chips and imperfections. We all have faults. In college, some of us will continue to procrastinate. Sometimes we will forget to prepare, and we will fail. We will be wrong more than we will be right. Heck, we may even write speeches based off scientifically inaccurate metaphors. But it is our imperfections that make us unique and that ultimately allow us room to grow. If not for interstitial impurities, we would not have diamonds that are green or purple or yellow or blue. And without the components that make us human and therefore make us ourselves, we would not have much to celebrate in our transformation from lumpy, unsightly coal into brilliant crystal lattices. It would be a shame for us to part knowing that we peaked in high school, and so I am grateful for all the areas in which we still falter. If we are lucky, our intellectual curiosity and imaginations will push through our shortcomings as we begin to question the world around us and unravel the vast, unknown college plain. So as we reflect on our days as young ores of coal with potential not yet mined, we will remember to shine beautifully in the sun as we approach the long road ahead.
Good afternoon. My name is Taylor Franklin, and it's my pleasure to be the chairman of the board of Norfolk Collegiate. And what a big day for everybody here. I'm so happy to be able to stand up here and be an alumni of Norfolk Collegiate, graduated in 2000. And it's my pleasure today to introduce Ted Mathis, who's our speaker. But before I do that, I just want us to give a round of applause to all the faculty and staff that helped your students get here today. So thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Ted Mathis. Ted Mathis is the chairman and CEO for New York Life. He is responsible for running all aspects of the company, including all U.S. and international business operations. Ted has been on New York Life's board of directors since 2006. He has also been a board member of the American Museum of Natural History since 2010 and currently serves as its treasurer. Ted is a graduate of Stanford University and received his JD from the University of Virginia, where he was a member of the Virginia Law Review. In addition, Ted Mathis is a distinguished member of Norfolk Collegiate School of Class of 1985. Ted attended Norfolk Collegiate for 12 years. He excelled through his drive and leadership. Ted was president of the Junior and Senior National Honor Society, served on the Honor Court and the Student Council, played basketball, was the chairman of the Model UN Nations competition team, and student representative to the Parents' Council of Tidewater, and was the editor of the Oak Leaf newspaper and a member of the Key, Monogram, and Latin clubs, to name a few. He received Citizen Scholar Award and Optimist Speech Context Prize. He also received the Norfolk Collegiate School Felix Hardin Award for Scholarship and Character, which each year is presented in honor of Felix Hardin to a senior who has demonstrated consistent, evidence of high character and superior scholarship while at Norfolk Collegiate. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ted Mathis.
Thank you very much, Taylor. All right, this is kind of fun. Good afternoon, everybody, and my hearty congratulations to the Norfolk Collegiate class of 2018. Woo! I also would like to extend a welcome to parents, family, and friends. Even 33 years after I sat in those very same chairs, I have unbelievably vivid memories of my time on this campus, and I formed lifetime friendships here. Now, you just heard, I work at New York Life. Now, my company, it's not Geico, so you might not have heard of it, all right? Most of you know, save 15% in 15 minutes or less, right? That's because it's a remarkably effective advertisement. Why? It's easy to remember, and it speaks to what most people think is important about insurance, right? Which basically is cheaper is better, and less time thinking about it is better, right? Now, I totally get that. But it's actually wrong on both points, because cheaper is most definitely not better when it comes to what I do, which is life insurance. The easiest way to think about this is, think about other things that protect your life, you know, in the lives of the people that you care about. I don't know, airbags, life vests. Cheap is definitely not what you're looking for, all right? And when it comes to protecting the people that you care most about, it's probably worth a little bit more time than 15 minutes, don't you think? So don't worry, this is not an insurance seminar. This is the last I'm going to be doing talking about insurance, but I wanted to bring up the Geico ad for this reason, because I think it's a great example of how we're being constantly messaged, both explicitly and implicitly, in that essentially things should be easy and fast. That's how they should be. And that is precisely the wrong message for all of us when it comes to the things that are really important in life. Not everything in life should be easy and fast. Unless, of course, what you want to have is a kind of okay or mediocre life. So now, think about this, graduates. It's the year 2043. You're coming back to your 25th reunion. You're running into somebody you haven't seen in decades. And they're like, hey, how are you? How's life? Do you want to answer, yeah, you know, it's okay, it's fine? No. You want to say, man, life's great. I have been doing so many awesome things. That's why I came here today. I came here because I want to discuss in my remaining time on the stage. I'm going to tell you how to save yourself from being just fine or okay in 15 minutes or less. Are you game? Are you good? All right, here we go. It's this simple. You have to think for yourself. You have to think for yourself. That's it. That's all you've got to do. But if it were easy to do, I could kind of take my seat back down there and we could get on with the rest of the award ceremony, because it's not easy to do. And in fact, I think it's getting harder and harder to do all the time. But of all the things that you're going to learn to do for yourself in college, your laundry, right? Managing money, right? This is the most important and most challenging. And it starts with really thinking. Thinking means concentrating on something long enough that you can actually develop a unique idea about it. Not simply learning somebody else's thoughts or memorizing a bunch of information. Really thinking is the source of all original thought. Now, it can build on the thoughts of others. In fact, that's great. That's what awesome books are for. But when you think for yourself, you go a little farther, or you decide you want to take it in a different direction. Original thinking is what creates a diversity of ideas, which always leads to better outcomes in society. If you think about anything that you think is outstanding, anything that you think is great, all of the great contributions that you learned about from people that came before you, all of them came from somebody taking the time to do some original thinking. Our founding fathers in the Constitution, any great book you've ever read, any great piece of art or architecture or music or new business model like Amazon. Original, independent thought. Schools such as Norfolk Collegiate and hopefully the colleges that you're going to be attending are supposed to teach you how to think, not what to think. And all the parents here know right? When we're at our best, that's what we're trying to help you do. Really thinking for yourself. Not just deciding things for yourself, but this takes effort. And like I said, I think it's harder than it's ever been. And I want to tell you why. I think there are two reasons. One is somewhat evolutionary, and the other is a bit revolutionary. The evolutionary one, or the one that sort of has come, building up over time, is the world keeps raising the bar on its expectations of what you must know. It's requiring you to consume larger and larger amounts of information in less time. It's declaring that we should teach subjects, you should learn them earlier and earlier, right? And it's scheduling, you could actually argue, monopolizing more and more of hours of your day. But as the bar on what you must know has been rising for decades, what can get crowded out is why you should know it. And how is it going to help you learn to think for yourself? Now, this trend is actually really crazy today in a supercomputing age, because I think it's clear to everybody here that any computer out there, even the cheapest one that you can buy, can process more information faster than any human being on the planet, the smartest human being. And how is this possible? It's because what we do with computers is we program them, but we program them with detailed instructions about what to do. Now think about this. In a time where our kids are often being programmed a little themselves, what are they inspiring to do? What's in the breakthrough part today of computer science? You know what we're trying to do? We're trying to teach computers how to think. That's what artificial intelligence is. And I find this an interesting contradiction. We're spending perhaps more time, right, trying to teach a computer to think, while we're spending more time programming our kids on what to think. Now, that is the evolutionary trend that you've had to battle against, and you're doing well, and you're about to go off to college, and you're about to take that on. But the revolutionary trend is the one that I'm a little bit more worried about, and I want to spend a little time talking with you about. The revolutionary thing that is the greatest challenge for the class of 2019 is that little device that usually sits in your bag, or in your pocket, or in your hand, that I understand they actually made you turn in before you walked up here to get on these platforms, right? Everybody knows what it is. It's called a phone, but it isn't a phone, right? You growing up in this world, 24/7, always connected, always on. Now, before you jump to the conclusion that this old guy up here is going to be like, and the iPhone is the root of all evil in the world, that's not what I'm saying. The iPhone in the connected age is doing amazing things. All of that information at your fingertips. Every answer out there, milliseconds away, right? My class, the class of 1985, was totally blown away by the Sony Walkman, all right? It's true. Sad to say, but true. But every one of us today has an iPhone by our side, so this isn't just you, this is us too. But here's the thing. When you have all this information at your fingertips, you have to think really hard about what questions to ask. What questions should you be asking? Which are the most important questions for you? How much time, frankly, all of us here, are we spending thinking about that? The short answer is probably not enough, and I think this is an outgrowth of this network world in which we live. On one hand, you have more choices. We all have more choices, endless options, than any individual has ever had in the history of time. That should be liberating, right? More choices should be liberating, but it's not. The network world knows this. You know how? It tells us, hey, all these choices are great, but whoo, sorting through them is really hard. Don't worry, we're here to help. Now, how does it do that? You know what it does? Everybody here uses Netflix. And what you say is, hey, you watch this movie, you'll probably like this movie. Go to Amazon, basically said, you bought this book, other people who bought this book also bought this book. Now, in the beginning, that's actually helpful. But what happens over time is we all start reading the same things and watching the same things as everybody else. What happened to individual thinking there, right? At the very least, you think with all these things that are so fast and easy, we'd all be walking around feeling like we got lots of extra time, right? If all the tasks and assignments and things that we have to do are that much easier, then we should have a lot of extra time. I don't know about you. Do you walk around feeling that you got a lot of extra time for the important things? So here's the point. Don't buy into the illusion that easy and fast choices is more liberating or gives you more control. What is liberating, what gives you more control, is thinking for yourself. And thinking for yourself is the opposite, all right? The way it feels is the opposite, all right, essentially, of easy and fast. We all do our best thinking when we slow down and when we concentrate, right? Einstein. When I say Einstein, what pops in your head? Genius, right? He's renowned as a genius. When he was asked about this, he said, it's not that I'm so smart, it's just that I stay with problems a little longer. Think about that. All right, by now some of you are saying, whew, I don't know. Thinking for yourself is so hard, I'm not sure it's something I really want to do, all right? I say you absolutely do, and let me tell you why. 2 reasons why. First, it's necessary for you to be happy and successful. All right? When I spoke here in 2010, I told the graduates that one of the keys to happiness in life was being genuine and finding your true passions in life. You cannot discover who you really are. You can't discover what you can really do and be authentic without thinking for yourself. Right? Second, we need you to think for yourself. The world is at a very important societal inflection point. I know you studied history. You studied that 100 years ago there was this industrial revolution which brought about all these massive changes in society, most of which for the good. The kind of jobs people had, social norms, politics, right? But despite all of the good the industrial revolution did, what it also brought was diseases and plagues we'd never seen before. And why was that? Because everybody was brought together. Because people were connected in a way they had never been connected before physically. Today, we're in the early days of the age of networks, right? And it's awesome, the power of connectivity, all of our lives being connected digitally. But it also is going to bring some things, right, that we've never experienced before. Virtual connection creates issues too. So what are these issues? One is a loss of privacy. We seem to accept this today as a trade-off for convenience and ease, right? But there are very real consequences to it, and they are not fully understood. What's a second thing that comes from this that's an issue? You know what it is? This is a little bit more obvious today. We have this massive polarization of views. Take any subject right now, any subject. There are angry, adamant people on each side of it who believe they're right, and the other side is full of idiots, morons, or really bad people, right? Where did that polarization come from? Why is this? You want to know why? Because today, it is so easy to find people who think just like you. TV shows, websites, chat groups, Instagram, Twitter, people who validate your beliefs as opposed to challenge your beliefs. We now can surround ourselves with people who think just like us. In fact, we call them communities. Now, community used to be where you're from, where you live. Today, a community is a virtual place for people who think just like you. So what do you think that does for independent thinking? This networked age is making it very challenging for you. What do you want to think about an issue? Don't worry, your community is going to tell you what to do. They'll tell you what to think. Now, if you challenge that community, one click or swipe, and you're banished from the community. You got too many choices in life? It's a great thing, choices, but don't worry. Just do this. Buy it, rent it, say it, think it. People just like you do it all the time. So how do you protect yourself from this? What are we going to do? What's my advice to you? The answer is everybody needs a place for independent thinking. Everyone needs a place for solitude in their lives. Solitude is necessary to truly think for yourself. And I believe the biggest thing that we're losing in the networked world is any place of solitude. Most of the parents in the room know exactly what I'm talking about, because you crave solitude, right? You know what it is, right? You remember that morning cup of coffee when nobody else is awake, and you sit there and you let things formulate in your head. Nowadays, if you're like me, you may still be getting up early, you may see the sunrise, you got a cup of coffee in one hand, but you got the iPhone in the other hand. That's not solitude. Do you ever used to go for a walk to clear your head? Now, if you go for a walk today, you got your phone, you tweet to everybody you're going for a walk, you take a picture of yourself, let everybody know I went for a walk, right? That's not solitude. We miss those moments. But here's the scary part. I'm afraid that future generations, I'm afraid that the class of 2018, the other kids here, you're not going to, because you know why? You're not going to crave these moments, because what's interesting about cravings is this. You don't crave things you never had before. You crave things after you had them. You crave chocolate or ice cream after you have chocolate or ice cream, right? And this is really true for things that don't sound like as much fun as independent thinking, right? So my guess is that many of you haven't been afforded the opportunities to have moments, periods of solitude, so you don't know what you're missing. Now, solitude is not the same thing as being alone. Solitude is being alone with your thoughts. It's where your brain has a chance to make connections between things. It's where you actually reflect. It's where we learn from the mistakes that we all make every day. But it's also where we get past those impulses, we defeat our desire to kind of like hurry along and move on to the next thing. Solitude is the place where you have the most important conversation in your life, which is the conversation you have with yourself. I'm going to tell you about a conversation I had with myself a couple of months after this point in your life. I want you to picture this. A few months after I graduated from Norfolk Collegiate in 1985, I found myself in this small dorm room, late at night, lying in the dark, listening to my roommate sleeping. I had just met him a couple hours before. You know, hi, Ted, I'm Ted. Hi, Jay, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Now, every other night just about in my life, I'd sat in my bedroom in my parents' house. And here I was sleeping a few feet away from a total stranger. I had just met this person. Kind of scary, like classic horror movie scary. You know, you're alone, it's dark, you can hear somebody breathing, right? Now this gives you something to think about. And that's all I had that night. Nothing but my thoughts about what's this night going to be like, what's this week going to be like, what's college going to be like, what's my life going to be like. It was either that or I had to run down the hall and be really embarrassed and use the payphone and call my parents. Those are the options I had. Now, why do I say this and share this with you? Because those kinds of moments in life are incredibly important. But I'm not sure you're going to get to experience them unless you work really hard. They just happened to us, right? Because probably you're going to get your roommate's name, you're going to Google them, you're going to look them up, you're going to check them out on Facebook, you're going to actually start talking to them, chatting to them, even though it doesn't mean talking. I know, it means talking, right? You're going to, and even if, so you're going to know them before you actually sit there in the room with them. But even if you find yourself in that room late at night and they are sleeping, you're not alone. The world is connected. Even if it just means sending a text, you know, to say one of your best friends or your brother or your sister, this SUX stinks, right? This isn't your fault. It's the way the world is today. It's the one you're inheriting. You know, sometimes we like to make fun of your generation saying, yeah, you grew up in a time where everybody gets a trophy, you know, even for like 11th place, right? But you know what? You didn't ask for that. We're the ones giving out the trophies, all right? And I can tell you that as parents, we didn't want to mess you up by doing that. We wanted to tell you just put in effort. We wanted to tell you effort is what counts. And you know what? Every parent in this room still stands by that. No one on this planet was born great, but every single one of us was born capable of doing great things. The challenge, the struggle is figuring out what that is. And this is a journey you need to make by yourself. And it starts by thinking for yourself. But it's so important that you recognize this struggle to figure it out. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong. In fact, I believe the more inherently capable you are, the greater the struggle. Think about it like this. What if I told you anything you wanted in life you could have, and I mean anything, anything. It could be yours, and you actually didn't even have to work that hard for it. What if I told you you were stronger, you were faster than anyone else on the planet? What if nothing could ever hurt you? No weapon, no disease. What if you could live forever? What if you could turn back time? What would you do with all of this power? Well, the person I'm describing, of course, is Superman. You guys know who Superman is, right? That isn't too much of a generational thing, right? What did Superman do to figure out what he was going to do with all of this power? He built himself a fortress. What kind of fortress? A fortress of solitude. Come on, parents, help me out. A fortress of solitude. Why? Why? got all the powers in the world. He can have anything he wants. He needed a place to think for himself, to figure out who he wanted to be on this planet, a place where he wasn't connected to the outside world for a little bit, where he wasn't distracted by what the world was trying to get him to do, so he could figure out what he should do. Graduates, ladies and gentlemen, even a Superman or a Superwoman needs to create a place to figure out who you're going to be and how you're going to do great things. You are growing up in a world of contradictions. You have this unbelievable array of choices and options, and yet we sort of feel like less and less diversity and originality. All of these things that are tasks that we all have to do are faster and quicker than they've ever been, but you actually feel more and more pressured for time. And while you are, by far, we are all more connected than we've ever been, people tend to feel a little bit more alone and isolated. This is why my advice for you, for a happy and fulfilling life, is a little counterintuitive. But I know it to be true. If you want a life of meaning, if you want a life of contribution, if you want to be part of something really special that's bigger than yourself, surrounded by friends to whom you are deeply connected, then once in a while, put away the iPhone, create your own little place of solitude. Even 15 minutes is a good start. And when you do this, please let me know what you think. Thank you and congratulations.
Well, I think a little solitude when I look out over 700-800 people, maybe a few more minutes, and then we'll have our solitude this weekend. But this wonderful opportunity to see these people that are in this room to celebrate the class of 2018. This is what schools are all about. This is the culminating moment at this school and all across schools all over the country. So at this part of the program, we are going to be handing out some institutional and some school awards. But before we do that, we have one piece of business we need to do first. To give some context to this, look above my head. All the heads go up, wonderful. So up above my head is the banners. What you'll see is that our sailing team has won championships year in and year out for quite a number of years. Tomorrow, 7 of our athletes will be sailing in the National Team Race Invitational Regatta in Rochester, New York. And this year's team will be led by 2 of our seniors, Ellie Moss and Sarah Ellen Smith. So due to some airline reservations and a tight travel schedule, I will be presenting Sarah her diploma a little earlier than some of the others. So, the first graduate of the class of 2018, Sarah Ellen Smith. So now we'll begin the presentations of our school and departmental awards. Our first award, good luck. So the rest of the program. Our first award today is the John Morgan Allen Award for Unselfish Consideration of Others. This year it is awarded to Mia Mathis. Our next award is the Ernest L. Etheridge Award for Leadership and Character. This year is awarded to Brooke Walthall. Our next award is the Brad Face Award for Excellence in Speech and Communication. This year, the award goes to Haley Bartell. Our next award is the Felix F. Harden Award for Scholarship and Character. This year is awarded to Ellie Moss. Our next award is the Ian J.R. Katz Award for Scholarship and Athletic Achievement. This year is it awarded to Ashby Larkin. The Cameron Keene Award for Personal Integrity is awarded to Hunter Flora. The Francesca McCleary Award for Excellence in Foreign Language is awarded to Emma Stevenson. The Susan S. Mulvey Award for Excellence in Biology is awarded to Sophie Zhao. The Sandler Family Award for Student Who Most Nearly Lives by the NCS Seal is awarded to Miles Edmond.
Snuck up behind me.
The Betty Slabe Award for Excellence in Art is awarded to Anna Begonia. The Henry Jerome Stockard Award for Excellence in Literature is awarded to Taylor Dews. The Larry B. Swearingen Award for Athletics is awarded to Gabby Grinnan. The Amanda Allen Tigner Award for Industry is awarded to P.K. Dawson. The Helen M. Walker Award for Outstanding Leadership in the Student Government Association is awarded to Josh Hudson. The James C. Wirt Award for Excellence in Calculus is awarded to Owen Zhang. The Norfolk Collegiate Award for Excellence in English is awarded to Cecilia Ennis. The Norfolk Collegiate School Award for Excellence in History, Cecilia Ennis. The Norfolk Collegiate Award for Excellence in Performing Arts is awarded to Taylor Dews. The Norfolk Collegiate Award for Excellence in Science, Sophie Zhao. The next three awards are memorial awards awarded to underclassmen. The Brian Slattery McCann Memorial Scholarship is presented to a member of the class of 2019, Max Golofsky. The Townsend Oates Jr. Memorial Scholarship, this year also a member of the class of 2019, Mary Pembroke Kaler. The Juliana Taswell Porter Memorial Award is given this year to a member of the class of 2019, Jacob Roth. Our final student awards are, the first is the Headmaster's Award, a.k.a. Captain Collegiate Jackson Burke. The Norfolk Collegiate Salutatorian Award, Sophie Zhao. Our Valedictorian Award, Cecilia Ennis. The Norfolk Collegiate Senior of the Year, Cecilia Ennis. This past August, we welcomed our first class of preschoolers, of 4-year-olds in our lower school. And this morning I was at the lower school where we celebrated their first year of successful enrollment as a pre-K. So in 14 years, those students will be up here. And since it's always our graduation ceremony is the Friday of Memorial Day weekend, I could actually give them the date that they will be graduating 14 years from now. But today, we're celebrating the students that have been with us 13 years. It's over 25% of the class, of this class, started in kindergarten here at Norfolk Collegiate. So as I read their names, please stand. Parker Banks. Dylan Cheek. Blake Cummings. Maddie Foster. Brett Goldman. Gabby Grinnan. Parker Gross. Sydney Hicks. Davis Link. Mia Mathis. Ellie Moss. Bryson Petrie. Sarah Ellen Smith. And last but not least, Sarah Lawrence Smith. And please join me in one last round of applause for the parents that have entrusted their children to us for 13 years. Now, today our focus has been and will be and should be on the class of 2018. Their positive impact on this school has been profound, and they have been wonderful members of our student community. However, we all know that all of the accomplishments that we're celebrating here today would not have happened without the support and expertise of our faculty. The cornerstone of any student's academic experience at a school is the teacher that is in front of them on any given day. Great teachers exemplify excellence in the classroom and lead other teachers by example. So we are pleased today to recognize 3 teachers with the Joe Melker Hackney and John H. Hackney Jr. Memorial Endowment Fund Awards, representing the lower school. This lower school teacher works every day to support our children in a variety of ways. As a 5th grade student said recently, she has to be one of the smartest teachers at Norfolk Collegiate because she has to know everything. So, how true is that statement? Well, this student, or this teacher, has a clear and thorough understanding of the entire pre-K through 5th grade curriculum. She knows the difference between intrusive and extrusive rocks. She understands post-war industrialization. She knows how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide improper fractions. She teaches all subject matters with all ages at the lower school at our Learning Resource Center. This year's lower school recipient is Neely Connors. From the middle school faculty. This middle school teacher is an outstanding educator and faculty leader. She is organized, professional, good-humored, and respected by everyone in our building. In addition to teaching 7th and 8th grade English and advising a group of 14 8th grade girls, she is a forensics coach, head of the National Junior Honor Society, forensics coach, and her expertise as an English teacher has proven to be invaluable preparing our students for the rigors and demands of our upper school curriculum. She is an excellent teacher who mentors her students to be citizen scholars. This year's middle school recipient is Jill Archer. Representing our upper school faculty, this upper school faculty member teaches a variety of science courses. This year, he coordinated his students' participation in the research project Catch the King Tide, in which they collected real-time data during the king tide and related that data to sea level rise. Next year, he'll be implementing the AP Environmental Science WE course, which adds a required service learning program to the established curriculum. This summer, he will join our Social Studies Department chair along with the Director of Curriculum Instruction at the National AP Conference this summer as a presenter. This is in addition to coaching basketball and baseball. This teacher is able to instill a true sense of excitement and passion for scientific research and learning science. This year's recipient is Dr. Frank Thompson. Before we begin awarding diplomas, I want to keep with a long-standing tradition is invite a special guest to the stage, a member of our faculty that will assist with the awarding of diplomas that represents all of the faculty. This year, this gentleman joined the upper school faculty 23 years ago after a distinguished career in the United States Navy. He has held a variety of positions and responsibilities here: department chair, academic dean, upper school dean. In early days, he was the IT manager and fixing computers in the library. In addition, he has taught algebra, pre-calculus, physics, statistics, geometry, calculus, computer science, and trigonometry, to name a few, and I'm sure I left some out. I've never attended an alumni reunion at the school without some students of our graduates telling stories about how well this gentleman prepared them for their math courses in college. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Rick Davis. we're going to make one special award, as we did a few moments ago, because want to make sure that everybody makes their flights. So,
I welcome our next graduate, Ellie Gen Moss. Elena Caroline Adams. Amor Andre Anderson. Parker Carlisle Banks. Anna Mildred Barragona. Haley Alexandra Bartel. Sarah Elizabeth Beck. I love you. Caden Tara Benjamin. Chandler Aubrey Branton. Milan Naya Brooks. Thomas Jackson Burke. Phoenix Olivia Camacho. Brianna Jeanette Chapman. Dylan Scholl Cheek. Jason Marquise Clark. Blake Crawford Cummings. Princess Kayla Yukiko Dawson. Samuel Joseph Delaney. Taylor Lindea Christine Dews. Miles Isaiah Edmond. Grady Patrick Fitzwater. Hunter Leslie Flora. Riley Andrew Flynn. Madeline Ruth Foster. Grace Fernandez Giorgio. Brett Melissa Goldman. Gabrielle Linnea Grinnan. Parker Blanchard Gross. Kenneth Masika Hargrove II. Madison Bird Harris. Sydney Kathleen Hicks. Joshua Gray Hudson. Cecilia Angelina Ennis. Elizabeth Lee Jones. Cecilia Layton Kelly. Ashby Nicole Larkin. Jihoon Lee. Cameron Farrow Lewis. Davis Riley Link. Shaiwi Liu.
Mia Irene Mathis. Carson Christy McMonigal. Ashley May Obermeyer. Bryson Locke Petrie. Tessa Susanna Plaisant. Jakeem Ramel Robertson. Good job, Jakeem. Audrey Marie Smith. Sarah Lawrence Smith. Timothy Richard Spooner. Emma Sarah Stevenson. Brooke Elise Walthall. Haiyi Yang. Hao Chen Zhang. Tran Zhou.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Love you. Dear parents, faculty, family, and friends, thank you for being in attendance to help us celebrate this momentous occasion. When I think about the class of 2018, a list of descriptions comes to mind. Ambitious, charismatic, intelligent, and humorous, although our teachers might say mischievous. We are a class of 13-year survivors, a 1-year survivor, and everything in between. As we take a trip down memory lane, I think I speak for us all when I say the experiences and memories we made during our time at Norfolk Collegiate are ones we will cherish for the rest of our lives. Lower school days were filled with excitement facilitated by Mr. Smith as he made sure we all felt welcome and enjoyed school. Mr. Maddock established field day as Norfolk Collegiate pastime and the root of bragging rights even today. Middle school offered us the ability to hone our athletic and artistic skills, whether it be on the playing fields or in the Hackney Theater. And 4 years ago, we began this crazy journey called high school. We were small freshmen with big eyes and even bigger hearts who could not have dreamed of what lay ahead of us. The freshman retreat kicked off our first bonding event as a class. For some of us, it was our first time going camping and staying in a cabin overnight. But the experiences we had built some of the fondest memories and most enduring friendships. So as we begin the next 4 years, during which we will impact not only ourselves, but our world, I want us all to hold on to the characteristics that define us: ambition, charisma, intelligence, and most importantly, humor. Our ambition has been, and will continue to be, fuel for change. The ability to make an impact, whether it be on the athletic field, in the classroom, or on the stage, is fundamental to leaving a lasting impression, whether it be small or large. Whatever our aspirations, whether we hope to be the next Jay Jones, Ann Claywell, or Ted Mathis, don't be afraid to dream big. Always shoot for the moon, so if things don't work out the way you envision, you will at least fall among the stars. And everything you do, give it your all, and never settle for less than you deserve. Whenever people meet the class of 2018, they immediately notice our charisma. As a group, we're charming, witty, and always know how to make a good impression. So when you walk into a room, walk with confidence. But as soon-to-be alumni of Norfolk Collegiate, remember, the class of 2018 will be held to a high standard, and I challenge you to meet it. Intelligence is more than a number on a test or a grade in a class. It is the ability to adapt to whatever obstacles come our way. Norfolk Collegiate has prepared us to be citizens for change, ready for any and all situations that lie ahead. Be intelligent in the sense that you know about life and its ultimate meaning, and that we are here for a reason, to make a difference in ways big and small. Finally, humor. If there is one thing this class has mastered, it is how to have fun, whether playing foursquare in the courtyard, sitting in the senior lounge, or making the most noise in the treehouse. Our sense of humor has the ability to change our perspective in any situation and turn even the most cloudy days bright. Always seek to lighten someone else's load by helping them crack a smile or making them laugh. They say laughter is the best medicine, and if that's true, everyone in this class should have PhDs. On behalf of the senior class, we would like to say thank you to Mr. White and Mr. Gregory for serving as our faculty marshals and for what they have done during our time in the upper school. Would you please come forward to accept this certificate as a token of gratification? As I come to a close, on behalf of the class of 2018, I want to say thank you. Thank you, friends, families, parents, and most importantly, teachers, for helping make sure we walked across the stage, headphones out, phones away, shirts tucked in, and ties tied. Without your support and guidance, we would not be prepared for the road ahead of us as we begin our journeys to become athletes, professors, doctors, lawyers, scientists, artists, and citizens of the world. And we will always have a special place for you in our hearts, and we will always have a special place to call home in Norfolk Collegiate. So, as we transition from seniors to alumni, I'd like to ask one more question. Mr. Kennedy, may seniors leave?
Hold on. One of the great things I get to do is to close off this ceremony. This school was founded in 1948. First secondary school class was in 1963. So this is our 70th anniversary as a school, and this is our 56th class of secondary school graduates. And all through those years, we've always remained focused on what's important, which is the students. We've encouraged them, prodded them, laughed with them, in many cases stepped out of their way to allow them to do what they knew was the right thing to do and to push themselves beyond what we thought was possible. During their time here, the class of 2018 has won state athletic championships in sailing and soccer, taken hundreds of AP exams, been accepted in some of the finest colleges all over the country, while caring for each other as people and as individuals. They enjoyed the freshman retreat together 4 years ago. They recently began a foursquare competition in the Harris Courtyard that proved both fun and ruthless at the same time. While in the middle school, many participated in the production of Aladdin, which was one of the first productions in the Hackney Theater. They witnessed a flash mob led by the upper school faculty and staff during this year's last assembly. Dance moves and lip-syncing skills were showcased up on stage, and unfortunately, those dance moves can never be unseen. And for that, I'm truly sorry. And I put myself in that category as well. So, they have done all of these things with a sense of camaraderie and fun and fellowship. But today, all of that comes to an end. Now, I just actually heard the oxygen go out of the room, and I heard an audible gasp from some people. But it's a true statement, and it is the elephant in the room. At graduations, no matter what level you're participating in, it's that elephant in the room that graduation changes things. So each group here today, their lives and their experiences and our experiences are going to change. A few weeks ago at a faculty gathering, I told our colleagues that there are some sustainable moments in the life of any school, and as educators, we should capture them when we can. And today is one of those moments. So colleagues, class of 2018 would not be here today as prepared and excited as they are without your efforts. You created this moment, so each of us should take great pride in that moment. You've connected with members of this class, and it's going to be a little hard to let them go. Some of you may be thinking, my B-Bell class was so invigorating and so much fun this year. But the great part is, next year we get to do it all over again. Next year we're going to be sitting here in this room at the same time. And next year your C-Bell class will be the most invigorating and fun class, and you'll have a hard time letting them go. So to the faculty and staff, I urge you to appreciate the work that you've done and the work that we've done together, and you need to capture this moment. So, for parents and grandparents and friends, I offer the same message. We will never be in this exact moment again, so we should revel in it. We will never be at this place at this time in exactly this setting. All of the love, patience, encouragements, and yes, even frustration they've given over the years has brought us here. Those students would not be poised to do the great things ahead if it wasn't for the efforts and love and patience that you all exhibited. They've gained a wonderful sense of self that you fostered, so congratulate yourself. Literally, congratulate yourself on all the work that you've done. So this is a time of transition. It's a positive one, and the class of 2018 is ready for it, and you've made them ready. Now to the class of 2018, don't worry, almost done, almost done. As you head into college and beyond, things are going to change, and we can't stop that. All we have done in these hallways is make sure you're ready for those things to change. I can say with certainty that you are. You may not think you're ready, but you need to trust yourself because you are. The transition may not be easy, and you're going to have some difficult times as you've had difficult times before. The journey to this point was not, and nor should it be, linear. The twists and turns have made the journey meaningful to this point. You must now make the next part of the journey meaningful, even though we will not be standing next to you. Now, as I said at various times in your experience at Collegiate, you are obligated to change the world. Whatever community you land in, you are uniquely qualified to lead it because you understand the importance of understanding. You understand the importance of compassion and of citizenship and of leadership. So don't shy away from stepping into the fray when you're obligated to do so. If you think you can make something better, you should feel obligated to do so. You have all come to appreciate the value of an honorable, compassionate community that is based on excellence, dedication, and hard work. So I encourage you to put those ideas to use and to make your community and society a better place wherever you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2018.
Yep, I'll get him. Wrap up your school year strong.
Yeah, we got about another week and a half.
I was asking what it was.
Yeah,
My kids are about the same thing.
So the underclassmen come back and they hit into exams and they do all
Yeah.
that. So, but we learned years ago we get the seniors out.
Yeah. Smart. Smart.
Just kidding.
Otherwise, it's gonna, right? Everything
Early.
What's that? It's actually really, really cool. All right. Good job.
All right, go.
Good.
You're right down
Good
there.
fun. I figured.
Dive in.
All right, thanks.